Today, we are tackling the heavyweight champion of English learner problems: how to speak English fluently and confidently. This is a huge topic. Maybe you've been studying English for 5 years, maybe even 10. You have textbooks full of grammar rules. You can read articles and understand most of the vocabulary. You feel smart when you read. But then, the moment arrives. Someone asks you a simple question in a meeting, or you meet a new friend who speaks English and you need to answer. Suddenly, your mind goes completely blank. It's like someone pressed the mute button on your brain. You start worrying, right? You think things like, oh no, what if they don't understand my accent? Or maybe even worse, what if I sound stupid when I try to explain this simple idea? I want you to know this. You are absolutely not alone. Every single English learner at some stage feels exactly like that. Even people who look very confident when they speak English sometimes lose their grip when they meet someone new or step into a scary new situation. So, today we are not opening a grammar book. We are not practicing the past simple tense or confusing prepositions. Today, we are fixing the engine room. We are teaching mindset. We are looking at the psychology behind confident speaking. We are going to break down 5 big myths that live in your head and stop you from speaking naturally. For every myth, I will give you one simple, easy-to-remember truth, and then one small, practical exercise, a tiny action you can do today to start building real confidence. If you find this episode helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss the next Speakova lesson. Are you ready to challenge those old beliefs? Let's start this journey together. Myth 1: confident speakers are born, not made. Story segment: thinking about a famous, charismatic speaker. Have you ever watched someone speak? Maybe a great teacher, a successful CEO, or someone on TV, and you whisper to yourself, wow, they are just naturally good at this. They were born with that talent. And then you compare yourself, maybe feeling a little small, and think, I could never speak like that. It's just not in my genes. That thought is a major block. It stops action before it even starts. But here is the deep, important truth about confidence. Confidence is not a magic talent. It is a skill. Think about learning to cook, or learning to ride a bike, or learning to drive a car. You were not born knowing how to balance on 2 wheels or how to parallel park. You learned it. You practiced it. You got better by doing it over and over again, even when you were nervous or made huge mistakes. When we see those amazing speakers, we forget the history. We forget the hundreds of hours they spent practicing, planning, and speaking publicly even when their knees were shaking underneath the desk. They learned confidence by speaking, not by waiting until they felt confident. Imagine a very small child learning to walk. They don't take one step, fall over, and then decide, well, walking is not for me. I'll just crawl forever. No, they stand up. They wobble. They fall down, thump. They stand up again. They repeat this process maybe 50 times in 1 hour. Every time they stand, they are training that walking muscle. Every time you open your mouth and speak English, even if it is just one simple sentence, you are training your confidence muscle. It gets stronger with use. The core truth: confidence is your reward for taking action, not something you must have before you speak. You don't wait until you feel totally confident to start talking. You speak, and the feeling of confidence arrives right after. Actionable practice, level A1, A2 focus today. I want you to record yourself speaking English for just 1 minute. Open the voice recorder app on your phone. Do not plan the words. Just talk about something simple. What did you eat for breakfast? What are your plans for this evening? What is the weather like? The rule: do not stop. Do not correct yourself while recording. Just keep the words flowing for 60 seconds. When you listen back, I promise you will hear your own voice sounding much better, clearer, and more natural than you expected. This simple act builds immediate self-trust. This is step 1. Myth 2, fluency means speaking fast. This is a very common trap, especially for learners who watch many American TV shows. They believe that fluent English must sound like a machine gun firing words. So, what do? They try to speak quickly. They rush their words together, they skip necessary pauses, and they often finish a sentence completely out of breath. They sound nervous, not fluent. But real fluency is not about speed, it's about flow. Flow means communicating your message clearly. It means connecting naturally with the person listening. It means keeping a calm, understandable rhythm. Think about the English speakers you admire the most, the ones whose English sounds beautiful and strong. Do they speak as fast as possible? Absolutely not. They use silence perfectly. They pause before important ideas. They stress the correct words. They take deep breaths. That calmness is what makes them sound confident and powerful. Speed often sounds like panic. A great analogy is driving a car. You can press the accelerator down to the floor, but if the road ahead is full of sharp turns, you will crash. A good driver slows down for the turns, accelerates on the straight parts, and controls the speed based on the road. Your English conversation is the same road. The core truth: fluency means expressing yourself smoothly and clearly, not quickly. Fast speech often hides uncertainty, while measured, calm speech broadcasts power. Actionable practice, level A1, A2 focus today. Choose just one simple English sentence. A sentence you use often. Example, I am learning to speak English confidently. Say this exact sentence slowly 5 times. For each repetition, focus only on the sound and the rhythm. Try to sound relaxed. Notice how you can control the sound of each word when you slow down. You will find that the meaning of your message becomes much stronger, not weaker, when you control the pace. Myth 3, if I make mistakes, people will laugh at me. This fear is huge. It stops conversation dead. You refuse to participate because you are terrified that your grammar will be wrong, or your accent will make people confused, or, worse, mock you. You fear embarrassment. But let me tell you a secret that fluent speakers have internalized. Nobody cares about your mistakes nearly as much as you think they do. In fact, almost nobody cares at all. Think about native speakers themselves. Do they always speak perfect English? Of course not. They forget words mid-sentence. They mix up tenses saying, I seen it yesterday, instead of I saw it yesterday. They use slang incorrectly. They still make grammatical errors every single day. Fluency is not about being 100% perfect. Fluency is about the ability to keep the communication going naturally, even when you trip over a word. A truly confident speaker doesn't freeze when a mistake happens. They acknowledge it quickly, correct it simply, and immediately return to the topic. It sounds like this. I went to the store yesterday to buy. Wait, I will go to the store tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow I will buy milk. That is it. A small correction, a brief pause, and then back to the conversation. That looks human and confident. The core truth: mistakes do not destroy communication. Silence destroys communication. Every single mistake you make is simply proof that your brain is working hard to learn a new system. It is evidence of effort. Actionable practice, level A1, A2 focus. We are going to reframe the mistake moment. Next time you realize you've made a clear error, e.g., use the wrong time tense or the wrong noun, do not panic. Instead, smile, even if you are alone, and use this simple, polite correction phrase, sorry, what I meant to say was. Practice saying that phrase out loud now. This one simple technique immediately makes you sound calm, polite, in control, and very confident, because you are showing you can manage imperfection easily. Myth 4, I need to think in my language first. This is the translation engine running in your head, slowing everything down. You hear a simple question in English, your brain pulls the idea into your native language, language X. You build the perfect sentence in language X, and then you try to translate that perfect structure word for word back into English. It's like trying to drive a car where one foot is always pressing the gas pedal, language X, and the other foot is always pressing the brake, English translation. You move very, very slowly, and eventually you stall out. True conversational fluency begins when you learn to think directly in English. But wait, you don't need to be able to think in long, complex English sentences yet. That's too hard. Instead, start by thinking in small, simple English units. Use simple words. Visualize clear ideas. For example, instead of thinking the whole structure, I think I should go upstairs now and find my house key because I need it for the door. Just think, go up, find key. Your brain can process those 2 or 3 words instantly. The English speaking muscle gets activated faster because the translation step is completely removed. When your ideas are clear and small, your mouth can shape the words easily. The core truth, you don't need to construct perfect, long English sentences in your head. You only need to form clear, simple ideas. When the idea is clear, the physical act of speaking becomes much easier. Actionable practice, level A1, A2 focus. This is a fantastic exercise for building instant thinking. Right now, look around the room where you are sitting. Do not translate the names of the objects in your native language. Immediately name them in simple English. For example, blue chair, white wall, coffee cup on table, phone next to book. Keep it simple. Keep it immediate. This habit strengthens your direct connection between object/idea and the English word, bypassing the translation detour. Myth 5, I need to live abroad to sound fluent. This belief convinces many learners to spend huge amounts of money and time moving to an English-speaking country, hoping immersion will magically fix everything. But we all know people who have lived in London or New York for 10 years and still only speak English nervously in the supermarket. Conversely, we see learners online, studying in their home country, who speak English beautifully and confidently every day. Environment helps, yes, because it forces exposure. But environment is not the magic key. The magic key is active speaking and usage, not just passive living. You can create your own rich English environment anywhere in the world. You don't need to fly across an ocean. You need to use the language daily. How? Listen actively to podcasts like this one. Talk to language partners online. Join discussion groups. Practice shadowing videos. Read challenging texts aloud to hear your own voice. This active engagement is what builds the speaking habit, no matter your location. The core truth: fluency is built by consistent exposure, input, and consistent expression, output, not by geography alone. It is made by how much you use English every single day. Actionable practice, level A1, A2 focus today. Make one small area of your life fully English. The easiest place to start is your phone settings. Go into your phone settings menu and change the system language to English. This forces you to read essential daily commands like settings, battery, messages, Wi-Fi, and notification in English constantly. This turns small, boring moments into small, high-frequency English practice sessions. Fluency grows in these tiny, repeated moments. Bonus myth: confidence comes when I'm perfect. This is perhaps the most dangerous myth of all because it keeps you paralyzed forever. You tell yourself, I will wait until my grammar is perfect. I will wait until I have no accent. Then I will speak. But the reality is that none of us ever feel completely ready. Perfection is a horizon that moves away as you run towards it. Confidence does not wait for perfection. Confidence appears the very moment you start, even if you start badly. Look at every single successful English speaker you know. They all started by making messy sentences, using the wrong sounds, and mixing up their verb forms. The difference is they kept moving forward. They kept practicing, kept speaking, and kept believing in the process. Confidence is built by taking imperfect action. It is built in the messy middle, not at the perfect end. The core truth: start badly, learn slowly, improve consistently, and win eventually. Your first 100 spoken mistakes are not failures. They are your most valuable teachers. Actionable practice, level A1, A2 focus. We will focus on tracking small improvements. Each night before bed, take just 2 minutes. Write down one sentence in English that you said or wanted to say that day. Then, on the next line, write the improved, better version of that sentence. Example: Day 1 sentence: I go shop yesterday. Day 2 improvement: I went to the shop yesterday. This tracking system proves to your brain that you are growing every single day, which is the ultimate source of confidence. Meaning recap. All right, everyone, let's clean up our thoughts. We have talked about 5 big lies and 5 powerful truths. I want you to say these truths out loud right now. Feel the words in your mouth. Myth: confident speakers are born. Truth: confidence is built, not born. Myth: fluency means speaking fast. Truth: fluency is about flow, not speed. Myth: mistakes mean I will be laughed at. Truth: Mistakes are proof of progress, not failure. Myth, I must translate first. Truth, thinking directly in small English chunks makes you faster. Myth, I need to live abroad. Truth, consistent daily usage matters more than location. And the final bonus truth, confidence comes from action, not perfection. Repeat these truths out loud every morning this week. Let them become the new rules inside your mind. I want you to understand something very important as we finish this episode. Every single person you see speaking fluent, amazing English today, whether they are a teacher, a colleague, or a famous podcaster, they all started exactly where you are now. They all doubted themselves. They all feared sounding awkward. They all made embarrassing mistakes. But they made a choice. They kept practicing. They kept speaking, and most importantly, they kept believing that they could improve. You are already much further along the path than you give yourself credit for. The very fact that you are listening to this detailed training in English, using your ears to absorb complex ideas, that is real effort. That shows dedication. Language is not something you download from a textbook. Language is something you live through real-world experience. So, stop comparing your Chapter 1 to someone else's Chapter 20. Stop waiting for that magical feeling of being ready. Start celebrating every small victory. Every new word you use correctly, every smooth sentence you manage, every time you push past the fear, that is a piece of confidence being built brick by brick inside you. If you find this episode helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss the next Speakova lesson. This has been Jerry from Speakova. Learn as speak, grow. Thank you for joining me. See you next time. Goodbye.